Hi, everyone, and welcome to our live Facebook broadcast of our exciting event today. We are here to witness the arrival of the first H145 helicopter in Saskatchewan to the STARS base in Saskatoon. So we have someone with us who is no stranger to STARS, who's been involved with STARS for some time in various capacities. And this gentleman's name is Danny Cugnett. Hi, Danny.
Hey, how's it going today, Mark?
What brought you to become more involved with STARS?
Coming from a rural place, with a heavy oil industry and a lot of agriculture, and being a distance away from Regina and Saskatoon, there's a real gap there in health delivery for the province, and I would say it's more of a chasm. So, for me, it's just such an easy connection. You guys are such a great organization, and you're filling such a hole in rural Saskatchewan that it's just always been a thrill to be a part of the team and be a part of it, right?
So we've had initial exposure to the aircraft. The air medical crew have done some initial training, still more training to come, and overall the feedback's been really good. People are excited to get a new aircraft, certainly a different setup than we currently have, but all the same equipment, just in different spots. And overall, we're really excited to have a new airframe. We're very fortunate to have such great supporters and be able to work in such a new cutting-edge aircraft.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the STARS Saskatoon base. My name is Brad Wall. I'm going to be your Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon's event and introduction. Quite literally, when a life is on the line, somewhere in this province, in our province, STARS is a beacon of hope to the people who need the help the most and those who love the people who need the help the most. Today we celebrate the arrival of the next generation of a helicopter fleet that will help STARS fight for the lives of the next generations of patients, that will help save lives in Western Canada.
We are honored that you have placed your trust in the H145 and the Airbus team. This is not a responsibility we take lightly, and I want you to know that we are here to support your operations. You can count on Airbus. So congratulations on this edition, and we look forward to delivering more life-saving helicopters in the years to come. Thank you.
I need to pause to acknowledge some of our founding donors, those who contributed to STARS when we hadn't flown a single mission, let alone being in the position to celebrate a milestone like this. Of course, we're all gathered here today. This house that we live in was built by Nutrien. It was the single biggest corporate donation before and since that STARS has ever received, and not only includes this base, but a helicopter as well that is actually our operational helicopter outside today. So that's pretty extraordinary. Yeah, thank you. And there are many, many others that we wouldn't be here today without. And I need to start with Crescent Point Energy. And a guy that was in charge of that place at the time, Scott Saxberg. Please wave, Scott. We wouldn't be here without Scott and his leadership. One of our founders. But also Mosaic, Enbridge, Husky, Ralco Radio, SaskTel, SaskPower, SGI, Sask Energy, so many more. These are the organizations who came forward that gave us the foundation in which to begin. Since then, companies like K+S, Municipal Hail, Western Sales, BHP, Farm Credit Canada, Redhead Equipment, Yara, SARM, Viterra, and many, many others who are here with us today have continued to support us. And on behalf of everybody here, I wish to say a grateful, grateful thank you. Today is a culmination of years and years of hard work, of defining our needs and planning a path forward for our organization. There's one guy in the room that I just want to briefly acknowledge. Ron Dufresne, where are you? Ron? Wave, wave, wave. Hey, Ron. Ron was our Vice President of Operations who got us up and running here. We wouldn't be here without you, Ron. Thank you so much. Our beloved BK-117 helicopters, that's the smaller of the two types, have served us well for tens of thousands of missions. But these long-serving, reliable workhorses are reaching the end of their life. Airbus isn't making them anymore. They're getting costlier to maintain, more difficult to find parts to keep us flying 24/7. At the same time, independent reviews of the long-term sustainability of STARS indicated we needed to move from 2 aircraft models to a single platform fleet. It's considered best practice, good common sense. It's the best choice for safety, for operations, and cost control. The Airbus H145 was determined to be the best aircraft to meet our needs and move our organization forward into the future. The H145 is a newer, more updated version of the BK, and its technological advancements rival and surpass the AW. So it's the best of both worlds. The external reviews also revealed that we needed to get moving on this crazy little fleet replacement, and so our volunteer board of directors, many of whom are here today, said, you bet, go ahead, even though we hadn't found any money yet. Let's get this process started because we do need to replace these aircraft, and we ordered 3. And the third one you're going to get to see today. So this has been a long journey. I'm going to show you a brief video to get you up to speed on what we've been up to. So you know what, folks, I think we'll get started. Thank you for joining us. Welcome and good morning. The big news is that we're moving forward with our fleet replacement. We've chosen an aircraft. It's the Airbus H145. Very similar in look and feel to the BK-117. There's been lots and lots of work been going into fleet renewal and fleet replacement. Some of our initial training will occur in Europe. So Scott will be taking a team to Germany. The medical interior that was chosen is Aerolite. It's a clip-in, clip-out interior with the intent that it's scalable and changeable for the future. Today, STARS has taken one little baby step, but we've also taken a huge, gigantic step for the long-term sustainability of this organization. So a little daunting for us to think about how we were going to come up with 9 helicopters at $13 million apiece, just saying. So I don't know if you've heard, but we've had some pretty good news in the last 9 months. And I need to say it once, maybe 3 times, and I'm going to look down to this front row in particular. First, should I say that one more time? First, the first government to stand up was this government, who said, yeah. Who just said, we get it, and we're in, and we're going to support you with the purchase of an aircraft. That's a commitment of $13 million by this provincial government. Thank you very much. And I think people think these things happen by magic. Government had a lot of questions, a ton of questions, appropriately so. And a mere 6 years ago, we started the journey of having conversations with our federal government. And we were overjoyed to hear the news that the federal government was supporting us with $65 million towards fleet replacement for Western Canada. And for that, we are very grateful. To our volunteer board of directors, could you please all wave? There's a bunch of you in the room today. Put up your hands, please. Across Western Canada, we have 20 directors that provide guidance, some days supervision, right, Dino? Dino, our board chair, is standing there. Please wave, Dino. So thank you very much for that. And lots of perspective over the last 6 years trying to figure out what we were going to do with this fleet replacement. To all of our allies in the community that support us in countless ways, thank you. So what does this helicopter mean for Saskatchewan? As Brad said, it's an investment in the future of the communities that we serve. It's our way of signaling that STARS is going to be available, as Dr. Powell wanted, for the next person that might need us. And on behalf of everybody in the room, in particular our staff and the board, thank you very much.
You may have noticed that there is a big blue and red bus just outside the door when you came into the building. That's the STARS Mobile Education Unit, and it travels from one end of our province to the other, providing training at no charge to first responders and to rural healthcare professionals. Well, the bus has now been renamed the Rawlinson Mobile Education Unit, and Pam Leyland, who's the president of Rolco Radio, is going to explain why that is.
What an amazing event. What a cool celebration this is. The partnership between STARS and Rolco Radio goes back to the very beginning, when Rod Gantifor was given the mission to raise the necessary funds to launch STARS in Saskatchewan. And Gordon and Jill recognized at that time just how much our province, with so many remote communities, needed STARS. Rolco Radio and the Rawlinsons have grown the partnership with STARS since that very first mission was flown in 2012. So when the time came to replace this aging fleet of helicopters, Gordon and Jill didn't hesitate to support the campaign. Gordon and Jill's support for their home province, our province of Saskatchewan, is a source of great pride to us all. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's worth noting that, and thanking Gordon and Jill again, and the Rolco family again for what was a $1 million donation to the project. Thank you very much. I think the new H145 is in the air right now. That's the word we get. Should be here very shortly. I've learned also over my association with STARS that in addition to amazing world-class flight crews, there are also equally amazing women and men behind the scenes in what's called the STARS Emergency Link Center, or ELC. They are the ones that coordinate 911, police, fire, ground EMS. They are responsible for coordinating sending and receiving to hospitals. They transport physicians. They do it all. What can you tell us about the ETA for the H145?
So it looks like right now I can see them out flying around. Looks like they're just past the university grounds. So they should be headed back that way very shortly. I would imagine you'll see them within the next 5 minutes or so.
Andrea, thanks very much. And thanks on behalf of all of us here to you and all of those that are represented by you in the ELC for the amazing work that you do. Thanks very much. And you're in Calgary, so go Riders. STARS in Saskatchewan is a success story for which we should be proud but not complacent. It's built by the community here, for the community. So let's hear from some of the many individuals who helped get STARS off the ground.
In Saskatchewan, virtually no one knew what STARS was. We didn't have a hangar, we didn't have a helicopter, we didn't have any donors. We were starting really out of the trunk of our car.
I think that people think that we ran out and knocked on doors and said, can we come to the next province over? Nothing could be further from the truth.
Well, we have family in Calgary, and we were out there visiting one weekend. A lady had been hit by a city bus. STARS came in and flew in. We saw them land, transfer the patient, and they were gone in minutes. It seemed to me that that was what Saskatchewan needed.
Hey, my Premier, how are you doing?
So the Premier asked me if I would head up a government initiative to negotiate with STARS to bring it to Saskatchewan, which I gladly did. And the contract was signed, and STARS was going to be born.
Well, this is one of those good days because with STARS, this is a little better place.
The leadership that went into creating the opportunity for this to occur cannot be spoken of too lightly.
We were starting from scratch, so there was a lot of work to be done.
So we went community by community, and we saw the support that was right across the province. We knew we were on the right track.
It was just an incredible opportunity to be part of something so great right from the beginning.
Back in 2011, there were discussions between STARS, the government of Saskatchewan, and Nutrien about how do we get STARS off the ground. So that discussion resulted in our organization coming in for a long-term $27 million commitment.
Well, when STARS was initially launched in the province of Saskatchewan, it created just a game-changing, rapid response with critical care support for people who are critically ill or injured. That didn't exist prior.
I'm so proud of where we were and where we've come today.
Now when I look back, everybody knows what STARS is in Saskatchewan.
You don't have to go too far to find anyone who has a meaningful connection to STARS.
They've had a cousin or a nephew or a niece, or father or mother that have been carried by STARS, and in many instances, STARS saved a life.
In Saskatchewan, we've been using two different airframes. We're moving to a single platform, and having the economy of that single platform will allow us to be here as long as the people of Saskatchewan need us to be here.
What it really means is huge flexibility right across the prairies to pull our people into any machine because they're identical. It means we'll be able to bring more resources to bear when bad things happen.
Every time that helicopter goes out on a mission, the circle of friends grows. It's not just the pilots and the paramedic and nurses, it's also
EMS, fire, police,
Saskatchewan Air Ambulance,
provincial government,
physicians, nurses,
the federal government,
hospitals,
the grandma who's got $10 for us,
some special individuals, I'd love to name them all.
the corporation that can give us $1 million or $27 million. Everybody is working on this program together.
Turns out it is a village.
So it really is an all-STARS effort.
I believe that STARS makes Saskatchewan a better place to be.
Thanks so much for visiting our hangar today on this monumentous occasion. I think I can speak for all of our colleagues when I say we are so incredibly proud to work for such an amazing organization with the best mission ever, to fight for the lives of the critically ill and injured patients. It's hard to believe it's been 7 years already since we've started in this amazing province. Time literally flies when you love what you do and work with such an amazing team, and when you're supported by the community you're privileged to serve.
I echo with what Cindy said about it's an honor to serve this province, and how exciting Fleet Renewal is not only at our base and our province, but in the entire organization. I can hear it coming. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
your
to
H145 helicopter.
How's that for an entrance? Do you feel like superstars? Because you are. So you may be wondering who hopped off this helicopter, so let me do a few introductions. It is our honor and privilege to have the Premier of Saskatchewan with us, Honorable Scott Moe. He's going to say a few words in a couple of minutes, but how cool was that? Was that a fun day of being Premier? Next to him is one of our very important patients. In STARS vernacular, that's a VIP, Miss Bonnie Fortin. Thanks, Bonnie, for being here. It's so special that you were part of this, one of our first patients, and so thank you. And then this is the guy we call the father of STARS in Saskatchewan, our very own, Mr. Rod Ganafor. Bonnie's going to speak in a couple of minutes, but first we have a video that shows what the community thinks of your support and what that means to our patients.
Somebody paid it forward to me for that helicopter to be in the air.
I just want to say thanks to everybody that supports STARS.
The people who help out in any way are saving lives every day.
The donors, the volunteers, the VIPs who go out and do stuff.
The people who buy lottery tickets, STARS calendars, bequests in a will.
They're amazing. I'm grateful for them every day. I do truly think about them every day.
I call them angels.
All those people that do that, honestly, there are no words.
It's unbelievable what they do, especially if they haven't been personally touched by it.
I can guarantee that everybody in the province is either already knows somebody or they are going to know somebody that needs the service.
You don't know what could be around the corner.
I never expected to need STARS, right? Who does?
You just never know.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know. You just never know.
We never thought it would be my dad.
I didn't ever think it would happen to me. Here we've used them 3 times.
We're 3 strong with the STARS use.
We're in a small area here and there's been 3 people within 3 miles that have flown on STARS.
This is real. It affects real people in real situations.
If they weren't around, I wouldn't be here today.
I think the outcome 3 years ago would have been totally different.
If we didn't have it, I'd be dead.
We didn't have support like this, people die.
I'm here today because STARS was able to fly there and pick me up and fly me to a hospital.
Without STARS and without allies supporting them, I wouldn't be here. My family wouldn't have a father.
When people donate, they're saving people's lives. Every penny that they give is saving someone's husband, someone's dad, someone's kids, someone's spouse. It's a pretty big deal.
You could be saving your own life one day by supporting STARS.
I did a fundraiser for the STARS. I think I made $400.
Instead of buying Christmas gifts, we all just pooled together and donated to STARS.
We did a Mother's Day fundraiser, and the other one we did beer and a haircut for the men.
Fellow kinsman started a ladies' night, Diamonds in the Sky, gives money back to STARS.
We had one birdhouse left over. The auctioneer said, let's sell that for STARS, $2,000.
Whether it's $5 to $500,000 and everywhere in between, every dollar counts.
Thank goodness for the donors.
It really means a lot. I want to give them a hug.
You guys are doing the right thing by making STARS possible.
It makes me cry a little bit to know that.
Because it's living proof of where that money's going. I think you want to say a big thank you, right? He's a little bit shy.
Every one of those dollars that people put in really makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference.
And goes a long, long way.
I believe it gave our daughter a chance that she wouldn't have had otherwise.
So I really would support anyone who wants to donate.
You can have all the employees doing what they're doing, but if you don't have the support, you don't have the donors.
They're all intertwined, one can't happen without the other.
It would not be possible and it wouldn't be reaching as far and as wide.
What does a person say to that?
I would say thank you, a big thank you.
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 Thank you. Thank you so much.
From the bottom of our hearts.
A hearty thank you.
A huge thank you.
A huge, huge thank you.
Thank you. You guys are lifesavers.
Keep doing the work you're doing.
You don't think you're going to need it, but when you do, you're sure thankful.
Thank you, everyone, for coming.
I'm so grateful and humbled to be asked and have that opportunity to ride in the helicopter today with these gentlemen. It was incredible. And I was thinking about today and saying, you know, I think this ride's going to be better than my first ride, but actually, I wouldn't be here today without my first ride. So I'm so thankful for that. Yeah. I also feel super honored to speak on behalf of all the VIPs, I'm sure. Like, there are no words. But like them, I would not be here today if it wasn't for STARS. The time savings, tools, and talents they bring us is what saved my life and so many others. This organization has allowed me the privilege to continue being a wife to a very tolerating husband and a mother to our 4 fabulous sons. I'm so grateful. On behalf of all the thousands of patients who have been helped by STARS already, and all the patients who will need STARS in the future and years to come, let me say a huge thank you to everyone here today. Your support keeps STARS in the sky and gives patients like me a second chance at life.
Just very quickly, if I can say one thing about Rod before I introduce our next presenter. Rod Ganefort was our health critic way back in the days when we were in opposition. And if there's any doubt that an individual can't make a difference, an individual MLA, it doesn't matter the party stripe, then this example, I think, should allay that doubt, because he came back from a visit that he took voluntarily to do some research in Calgary on STARS, and he met with me and I said, you know, if we ever get a chance to form the government or for our next platform, I really, really believe this is something we should do in government. We should find some operating dollars and close the deal and bring them here. That's what Rod did all those years ago, and from that willingness to do that work and come back and not just stop once at the first occasion of raising it with all of us, but to continue to raise it. For that reason, we are here and we have STARS here. So Rod, you're the father of STARS, so thank you very much.
As we know, of course, there are times in government when we say yes. When we say yes to partnerships that will benefit the entire province. And under the leadership of you, Premier Brad Wall, our government said yes to STARS. And that was one of the best decisions that we have ever made in this province. STARS has proven itself time and time again, providing rapid response to our families during medical emergencies right across this province. More than 4,500 patients now have been transported since operations began in 2012. Congratulations on the renewal of this fleet, and thank you to all of you here today, and thank you to all who support STARS each and every day in this province.
I don't know, did you notice that there's something on the edge of the aircraft called call signs?
Yes.
Do you know what those letters are?
I do.
So do you want to tell the audience what those letters are?
I can. The call signs are Land of the Living Skies, LLS.
The first government that stood in support of us for this fleet was yours. And LLS is, we hope, a message to you and to the people of Saskatchewan, our commitment. And with that, let's call that helicopter in. Do you want to join me? Bring it in, guys.
Yeah, that's worth a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, just a little bit of housekeeping. How about a warm thank you to the Saskatoon Symphony? I've never been at an event with its own live soundtrack before, but they were fantastic. Thank you. And very quickly, the members of the Saskatchewan Fundraising Committee, or Cabinet as we're calling it, the chair, and if you're here and I raise your and I say your name, please raise your hand. The chair is Danny Cugnut. Mitch Holash, I know, is here. Wes Ramsey, Joanne Hardy, Garth McDonald, Rod Ganifor, Vaughn Schofield, and Cadmus DeLorme are all part of those that are raising money for fleet replacement in Saskatchewan. Please thank them in advance for the work they're about to do. We've been joined via the internet by the other STARS bases around Western Canada. We've also gone live with this, and so we say goodbye to all of them and thank them for tuning in. We welcome you to check out the helicopter. You might want to take a few pictures. Mostly we want you to leave warmly thanked again from all of us at STARS for this day, for the days that have led to this day, and for all the days that are ahead. Have a great afternoon.